about this later on. But first I want to talk to you about the introduction of this project. What we're going to be doing now is, instead of using just lines as we did in our first assignment, we're going to be using solid shapes. And for this assignment, we're going to be using these shapes so that we can express different qualities or principles of design. Each of the 3 paintings you're going to be doing will be discussing 2 elements or principles of design as mentioned in the Shape and Space handout. The first one's going to talk about how to make a focal point or generate a place where our eye lands and rests within the given composition or painting. We're also going to make those shapes seem like they're going back in space. They're getting farther away from us in a 3-dimensional way. The second painting is going to involve us making those shapes be activated or energized so that they move around the given composition so that we do not land on a focal point. We're also going to be comparing the size of those shapes or making those shapes a variety of sizes to illustrate proportion. The third painting is going to show what happens when 2 shapes meld or penetrate each other and create a third color through transparency. We're also going to make those shapes feel trapped so that they can't move around and they're stuck within a given situation. You can do these paintings on either illustration or Bristol board, whichever is more convenient for you at this time. I understand that none of you have purchased illustration board. If you have some lying around, it's a rigid white piece of board, much like mat board. Each painting will be 12 inches by 12 inches. Each painting will have a 1-inch border around it of kept white paper or illustration board. So the challenge here is going to be that you're going to be using one of your 3 primary colors, either your red paint, your blue paint, or your yellow paint. And what you're going to do is use the paint directly out of the tube as a pure color, and then you're going to mix a combination of white plus your primary to make one mid value of that color. So in essence, you only get the 3 colors of the primary blue, the middle white, light blue, and the white of the paper. Having said that, what you're going to then do is utilize only 4 basic shapes. You're going to be using circles, squares, triangles, and lines. And in any situation, you can also use the variation of those: ovals, rectangles, bent triangles, or lines that are smaller on one end and larger on another. These all help with giving a sense of depth within a composition, because what you're doing is you're taking a solid object like a round circle and you're turning it back in space. It then becomes an oval in that situation. What you cannot do is create an outline of either black or a painted color. You also cannot shade a given shape to give it a roundness. And you cannot use funky or weird invented shapes. However, you can say to me that a white circle is sitting on top of a red circle or something like that, given your shapes. You can also cast shadows from a shape. You can also combine your shapes to make interesting and recognizable objects. For example, I have a fish here that is made with a triangle, a rectangle, a triangle, a line, and an oval. This way you can develop a theme if you'd like to carry it through all of your paintings. So remember, circles, squares, lines, and triangles are to be used in each of the compositions. You can use these shapes as many times as you want and as many sizes as you want, but you have to have one of each of these shapes in each of the paintings you do. You can also bleed these off the page so that they run off or outside of the square as we see it. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of questions. This is the first of 4 videos. In the next video, I will discuss how to generate a focal point and depth within a given composition. Thanks. Bye.